want to introduce myself to you, and this is real. It has become very boring for me to know myself always, especially inside Iraq. Whenever I get to know someone, I tell him who I am. I mean, I am just a citizen. I do not have any organization inside Iraq, nor am I a leader of his tribe, nor do I work in politics, security or government, and I do not have any position with anything, money or property I have, and I do not follow this talk. I always repeat it so that I do not bear any responsibility for someone who gangs of mind control inside Iraq deceive him and falsify my posts for me, or register him and tell him that I am the manager on him or who gives him orders, or I am the one who records they have names, guard their records, choose items for them, etc. They spied on with an arsenal of mind control, etc. And even my thoughts they also read. There is a lion, there is a follower for me with them, or I have a half, or a governor or a leader of his tribe, or responsible for my family, etc. These are lies that differ from one place to another inside Iraq. Of course, all of this is supposed to be something special to me, but due to the presence of a spy virus on my head as if it were a loose cat, and there is a fish lying in wait for it while it takes advantage of any opportunity, as it does not recognize what I say. Even if I warn others, it comes to them and records that he has his own laws, and they are gang laws only. He is a vile terrorist. He tries to use my name inside Iraq and paste himself on my body as a victim of slavery. He is a gang leader. Of course, this gang is those one who controls Iraq. That is why no one opened his mouth with him, and he remained like this and became like a person with a camera behind which our terrorist stands. But I myself have become a danger to every friend of the United States of America and European countries inside Iraq, because I carry terrorism over my head wherever I go, and it is dangerous for them. And I think one of the most important reasons for him being over my head is to make me and to introduce a trap or taste with which they hunt is a poison full of hatred and regret. Unfortunately, this filth did not appear when the international forces were present, but was hidden and hitting those forces and fleeing among women, children and civilians, even if it did not remain for 1 second. But unfortunately now I do not have anything, even a personal and very poor weapon. The important thing is that I always say that I consider myself in the region controlled by my enemy, and I alone do not carry anything important because I am exposed to theft at all times. They also have technology. They can play with everything on the phone, email, or the internet. Someone is a friend of mine on any social media page and they will play with this. Will you send messages from it to me, or play with me the games of illusion, or make elements of them represent it, or any person dear to me will play with this also. But as long as I announce who I am inside Iraq, I am assured that they will not deceive any person in America or European countries in my name, or they make me let something, or I have something, or I represent a law, or I have a word inside Iraq, or importance, and all this is lies, and I behave as I am everywhere in Iraq, just a poor citizen, as I knew myself as to the devil. The spy, what do I do for him in our region, is the one who leads it. I just speak against him, and I am trying to crush his dreams to extend the influence of this terrorist gang to America and the countries of Europe, while he revealed his truth that he is not a prophet, and this is not at all gang, which was those one that was hitting international forces in Iraq and inciting people against European countries and America.
Now, the sound that you're hearing is being created in this beam. It almost sounds like it's coming from your head. So let me try to scan the whole audience here so everybody gets to hear this. Absolutely remarkable. Pete, are you getting it?
Some sounded like family members, others sounded like friends, and there was a lot of celebrity voices as well. People like Will Ferrell, Emma Thompson, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and even our past Prime Minister, Stephen Harper. It was funny, when I was talking to him, he was busy telling me I was a brat, because all I would do was bug him, saying like, how are you doing today? And he's like, I'm busy. He'd always say that to me, but if that was real, right? Things became...
Talk about choosing. Greetings to you. I have simple words about mind control gangs in Iraq. This gang, which apparently carried out all tricks and lies and did not remain to God's name to play with, is this dirty terrorist leader who made himself a prophet while he is an intelligence officer from the days of the previous regime, and with him a homosexual security agent, and these are not they tell their lies to them and say God said this Antichrist says that God told him to be against the United States of America and European countries, as well as God was the one who gave him the dirty laws that his gang operates. Of course, I do not want to repeat my words to me, but I focus on an important issue, which is a type of victim for mind control from the category of the chosen ones. They were deceived by the illusion and made them believe that God gave them something, and then they forged attributes to them and take advantage of their names and give them a position, and the victims do not know this, and then they expel them from something they did not have or have authority over and no knowledge, but rather they think it is something from God. Of course, God we have to give to a person because he gives him with his hand or sends it through good people, and he cannot give to such a gang, and they are the last person to speak about God. Look at the lies of these people. With this they deceive the victims that God gave them something and he made them guardians or guards for this, and after a while they say God retreated from his word and gave half it to another person, while the game is all a victim who takes advantage of his name, is given a specific period of time and then gets rid of him, and this game is repeated in that one and more than one place inside Iraq, and all of them are the same scenario, the same story, and some victims who completely deceived think that they may have made a mistake and keep walking on the rope as they look to these as if they represent God, and if they complete choice. I heard that one of the victims refrained from watching TV, for example, or not eating certain foods, etc., because they will say about him that he is homosexual, etc., from real stories, while such a case is called the phase of getting rid of the victim, and whatever the victim did and walked on the road, they will find 1,000 ways to fall, and simply something they have is to impose thoughts on her or dreams, and this will make her fall or even be killed, whether by mind control or by the usual methods of test tricks and others. Also, I have noticed that some victims think that she is with her followers or has a word and does not know that all of these or her family or friends they are not with her, but rather members of the gang who tell them to smile at her, and they are also the ones who told them to be against her. The victim of this kind, to know that she is only a victim of slavery, they only have others who exploit her with what they only want.
And I was chosen because I was special.
Feel that I've lost my mind, I've lost my life.
Incident.
Feel that I've lost my mind, I've lost my life.
Incident. Because they love you so much. Welcome. Because they love you so much. Welcome.
قام بعمل عظيم جدا.
نعم، وأهم شيء حفظ الأرض وقت العاصفة.
هل من
Nothing. They're my brothers.
What?
They sold me. They sold me into slavery. They took me away from my home. I never got...
Cost of mind control. The money of the poor Iraq became weapons for the mind control, and the gang started killing people here with it, and this is perhaps the method of eliminating poverty, by killing the poor by mind control. And after they stole their money, they did not stop with this, but started stealing their lives and health, and made them slaves to them and their mercenaries. Any bad luck this is for Iraq, who he lived long centuries, dreaming to live in peace and an economic level, and the dream was fulfilled, but he turned into a nightmare after this demon of pessimism appeared, who made himself a prophet for more than 12 years, and he did not have anything left that he did not steal. By mind control it means it holds more of 17 million dinars in his brain except for the expenses of programming and control, drone planes they throw in and others. This means the budget of this gang is unparalleled, and even that many countries do not have a quarter of them here. We get to the experiments conducted by mercenary gang scientists who are developing viruses of death and harm only within Iraq is a catastrophe, while the people, the poor, the needy, did not surrender even to their lives after they stole their money. There were massacres, wasting them with these weapons, and people are falling diseases and others, especially those who are friends of the United States of America and European countries inside Iraq, and also that poor who saw the world. It is true that their presence is not desirable because it is tyranny, and they are trying to hide these crimes by these weapons. Of course, I laugh when I hear someone talking about a thief who stole a loaf of bread, for example, while this gang stole everything and Iraq's money has begun to support terrorism that is sent to America and European countries through these games. It is this gang that laughs at itself has disappeared, and no one knows that they are a terrorist network that rules here.
Destroy us, and how much money do we give them to destroy us? We'll leave it at that. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Mom.
And they were just absolutely horrified that nobody is being listened to. And the producer of this, he said, well, I've researched this industry, and it is now estimated at $17 trillion.
$17 trillion.
17 trillion. And when you have that much money, you know,